Yagi, now a typhoon. It is still a powerful storm. It has made landfall across northeastern Hainan. The impact here will be significant. We're talking about wind damage, trees down, property damage. There will be power outages, storm surge, and flooding. This is the second most powerful storm this year by wind speed, and Hainan, a neighboring Guangdong province, they have been bracing for this. Conditions in the last day have rapidly deteriorated. The provincial government in Hainan in particular has been on alert for days now. Transport services like ferries, railways, bus, flights have been suspended. And residents there, they have been stocking up on food. We've been monitoring social media video showing residents leaving store shelves empty as they get ready to hunker down. But Yagi has made landfall. It has made landfall as a typhoon. At the moment, not a super typhoon, but given its size and given its inherent power, it will still be a menace.
This is the center of Jenin, and the cleanup is just beginning. It's hard for the city to fathom how much damage there is, but you can see the water here in the road, that the water pipes have been knocked around. If we spin around here, you can see this barber shop, all the debris pushed up. I spoke to the owner there. He said it'll cost him about $20,000 to repair it. He's had that barber shop now for, he said, about 50 years. There are some things that can't be repaired here. According to the Ministry of Health, 39 people have been killed. 8 of them, they say, children, some elderly people as well. We were at the funerals earlier of some of the militants here. There was gunfire in the air from the group. I spoke to one of the commanders of the militant groups, and he told me that they lost some fighters, but the Israelis should accept their own losses too, that if the IDF comes back, then they'll be ready for them. Plenty of guns out there, plenty of gunmen, and a very, very tense atmosphere around those funerals.
Good news. It's a conclusion that the jobs market's slowing. It's not collapsing. The less good news is I don't think it underlines or addresses the question of whether the Federal Reserve ends up going 1/4 percentage point or 1/2 percentage point, as some would like. The US economy adding 142,000 jobs net in August. It was weaker than expected. The good news, though, is that the fear factor from July, that was the unemployment rise that we saw, actually came back to 4.2%. So a lot of the people that were on temporary layoff now back into the workforce. The underlying message in this, people are still hiring. Employers are still selectively hiring people, and wages actually saw a bit of a pop higher on the month as well.
This nighttime fire at a school in central Kenya happening in a dorm that housed 156 schoolboys. These are elementary school kids, primary schools as they're called in Kenya, younger than 13 years old, most of them. At least 17 burnt beyond recognition, according to authorities. At least 14 still receiving treatment. A lot of questions for the parents and for the community about how something like this could have happened. Authorities have set up a tracing desk to help them find their loved ones, those who are in hospital. They're also offering counseling services as investigators begin to piece through that scene. Homicide detectives using forensic analysis to try and figure out what exactly happened here.
Some devastating news for hopeful families waiting on adoption. China now ending foreign adoptions of its children as the country suffers a sharply declining birth rate there. The only exception will be people adopting children or stepchildren of blood relatives who are in China. The U.S. Embassy in Beijing is seeking clarification on what this means for families currently in the actual adoption process.